As we talk about inviting people to walk with us as we walk with Jesus, I want to take a moment to dive a little deeper into something called the leadership square. We see this principle at work that what we learn is not so much taught as it is caught as we imitate others. And we actually see this played out in the Gospels. When Jesus invites the disciples to become his followers, to walk with him, we see them going and following him wherever he went, listening to his teaching, asking questions, starting to do the things that he himself was doing. And as that process continued, they had time to continue to progress in this relationship with Jesus until they actually were the ones who were taking on more of those things that Jesus was doing, and he was coaching and encouraging them along the way. This principle has come to be known as the leadership square. And very simply, it has 4 stages to this process. The first stage is I do, you watch. The second stage, I do, you help. The third stage, you do, I help. And the fourth stage, you do, and I watch. So let's think about what that might look like in just a very practical scenario. Let's imagine that you are teaching someone how to mow the grass. It might start with them just observing you mowing the grass, making note of how you move the mower, how it starts, those sort of simple things. The next stage would be them starting to help, while you are the one who's taking on the primary responsibilities and making sure everything gets done and is happening in a safe way. But maybe they take a few passes through the grass as well, starting to take on more of the activity themselves. At some point, you're going to shift from stage 2 to stage 3, where they're the actual ones who are doing more of the work, more of the activity. And you're the one who's there to help if there's something tricky. Let's say trying to navigate the part where the lawn meets the curb, or trying to get around the flower beds in the best way possible. But eventually, they start to pick up all of those things, and they're the ones who are doing all of the lawn mowing themselves while you're there observing, encouraging, and celebrating this new skill that they've learned. We see this same principle can be applied to the rhythms of discipleship. Think, for example, about praying or reading the Bible. How easily you could apply this leadership square to that as well, teaching somebody to learn how to pray and them taking on more of that opportunity for themselves and you celebrating this new skill that they've learned. Same thing with the Bible, reading through the Bible together, them taking on more of that responsibility themselves, and then you being there to help if there's something tricky that comes up, but eventually celebrating this new skill that they've learned. As we dive into the rhythms of discipleship, as we begin this journey together, figuring out how we invite people into this walk, who is it who might come to mind? Who might be that person that God's been preparing to take that next step of walking with you as you walk with Jesus? Maybe it's somebody who's already learning from you in another realm, in your family, in your workspace, whatever that might look like. Who might be willing to take that next step, following along with you as you follow Jesus? As you think about who that person might be, feel free to share with them the things that we're discussing here. Feel free to invite them to watch these videos, to join in with the discussion. The more, the merrier. Before you jump into that, though, I want you to take just a second and practice with the leadership square. Go ahead and draw it out on a sheet of scratch paper and start thinking through what it might look like to lead someone through that leadership square with some subject of which you're very familiar. And then start thinking through, okay, what might this look like in reading the Bible or praying or one of these other rhythms that we're going to be discussing. As we are inviting people to walk with us as we walk with Jesus, we're expanding and giving more opportunity for these rhythms of discipleship to be lived out, not just in our lives, but in the lives of the people around us too.